Alright, welcome into the second close look for today, and this one is with the Terrorblade. A very interesting looking hero. I definitely like the looks. He looks very badass in his demon form. So what this hero is about, he's a carry, obviously, so your goal is gonna be farming items and getting, well, more items. With the items, this hero, specific items can be ridiculously good, and not much can actually stop him, because he can definitely be one of the heaviest hitters in a game, based on, of course, his abilities. So we can go immediately into the skills, because what this hero does is fairly simple. There's not much explained as in a Phoenix case is, because here it's about the auto attack. In the end of the day, it is about the auto attack itself. Of course, there are some certain features you can definitely do to improve your gameplay, but in the end of the day, what you want to do with this hero is to have the highest damage and auto attack the heroes to kill them all. Okay, the first spell is called Reflection, and is one of the spells that is like utility-wise spell for the lane stage, so the support cannot be that mad that you are not really doing anything other than hitting creeps. You have certain spell that you can actually help them to kill or chase the guy that is against you. So what this does, it's creating reflection of one target of enemy hero. So you get a cast on enemy hero, the reflection is going to be created, that's going to be attacking the enemy hero. On top of that, that's not that impressive. Of course, it can be impressive in the late game when there's a big carry. You create a reflection of the big carry, for example, with a lot of damage. So you create a reflection, and of course, the reflection will be doing something useful, will be doing the damage itself. But in the beginning, if you're going to level it up, which I think at level 1 at least would be nice to have it, it's going to take... the opponent is going to take 60% slow for 5 seconds. So the duration of the reflection, he's going to be slowed for 60%, which is pretty nice. And that definitely is the thing on lane to get. They kind of gave this spell to the hero so he can actually be useful on the lane and have something other than, of course, as I said, hitting the creeps in the face with a Quilling Blade. So that is it, that is Reflection, 50-50 mana, nothing to talk about. The cooldown is nice when it's reduced, 10 seconds, that seems like a good deal, but if you look at the duration, it's the same thing, movement slow, it's the same thing, so I would keep it on the 1, 22 seconds is kinda enough for the ganks from support, 100%. Second spell is Conjure Image. This spell was a little bit different in the past. Of course, we are looking at a hero that was slightly different and had different aspects to it. Even though the spells are very similar. So Conjure Image is creating illusion. Very simple, he creates illusion of his own that is doing certain damage. So right now it's 60% of damage, and it takes 300% of the damage on against him. Now what we have, duration is 32 seconds, cooldown is 16 seconds, and other thing is 80 mana use. So this spell, of course, is just for the damage. If you're gonna level it up, it's for the damage itself, which means you want to level it up when you are a certain higher level. You're gonna be able to cast, based on the duration itself, 2 images if one is gonna be lasting. Usually, 16 seconds until the second one. The first one, I do want to say usually, of course, in some cases like push, going for the tower. That's not the case, but in a team fight, usually the first one is going to die until you're going to be able to cast the second one. So this is more for the late game itself, and you have a decent damage. So the illusions get a benefit of the damage itself. In the beginning, not that useful. But in the late game, very scary, with some certain items on top of that. Okay, so what we have here is a third skill, Metamorphosis. And this skill is going to turn this pretty okay looking hero into a beast itself, so it's gonna create him into demon with wings, and on top of that, which is like gameplay wise the most important fact, with ranged attack. So this hero, of course basic hero is a melee. This is a 550 range, really ridiculous, and what it gives him is attack range, 550 as I said, bonus damage, 20, 40, 60, 80. So at this point, on level 25, my damage is 260 with just few items. So the base damage is 227 without anything, which is pretty high. Armor, 21. So agility carry that has a range like this, plus image on its own, plus of course you can buy Manta Star if you want to. This is definitely nicely leading, as you kind of can imagine, to the late game. These 2 spells leading to the late game. Even the reflection can be used, as I said, in some certain cases, but Metamorphosis looks fucking badass. This is definitely scary, and I'm hoping one thing is gonna happen. I'm hoping they're gonna keep the size of the hero, because in a lot of cases, as you see, every hero is kind of the same. There's a creep. A creep is this size. Heroes are kind of this size. So I'm hoping this guy is gonna be staying some certain height, and some certain So there's some certain respect created for the hero, because I definitely think this, if this is running after you, killing your whole team, just continuing, nevertheless stopping by anything, I think it means something. I definitely like the aspect that it's like so scary and fucking huge. So that is a skill. Of course, the cooldown is absolutely ridiculous. 140 mana uses, nothing to really talk about. So why these skills are kind of costing no mana almost is because of your ulti. Your ulti in the beginning, which means level 6, costs 200 mana. So you would cast one spell, and then you don't have mana for ulti. So it definitely is related to it that these spells are kind of costing not that much, even though the cooldown are fairly high, let's say. So ulti, what it does is it's switching the HPs between you and a target hero. It can be also illusion. So I can create illusion. And let's see. Let's do some damage on me. So I can switch it with the enemy hero. I can switch it with the allied hero. And on top of that, I can switch it with my illusions. Or I think any illusions, if I'm mistaken. So of course this spell is... The range is, it's making it very hard. So in some cases, it's very obvious what you're doing, okay? If I'm on low HPs, imagine low HPs, and I'm running towards the guy with the most HPs, guess what I want to do as a Terrorblade? So, of course, there can be some follow-up in that case. But if you are in the middle of teamfight, the teamfight happens, you still, in a lot of cases, in a lot of situations, you should be able, if you are farmed, you should be able to perform the switch. Nevertheless, what they do. So that is a Terrorblade. The base of the basic of the hero is just a farm. Okay, you need to farm these items. You need to be very effective. You need to get Manta style. You need to get Senshin Yasha maybe for the maim effect. You need to get Skadi for the slow effect, because you are a very fast hero. So if you're kind of running after the enemy and just hitting him with a Skadi and a maim on top of it, it's pretty ridiculous. It definitely is that type of a hero that can just kill. Okay, that you can just chase, kill, and not much can actually stop him. Maybe you can get some lifesteal later on. I think there's one additional thing I should mention, and that is Metamorphosis additional aspect or perk. There's a certain tip there. Transformation time 0.35 seconds. If I'm not mistaken, this is just in a test client so far, so it may be changed, but what my brain is telling me that I should be able to avoid spells, which is the case, it seems. So projectiles that are flying against me, I should be able to avoid, which is a pretty big deal. So let's create another hero to confirm it just very quickly here. We need to create enemy avenge. So create hero, avenge enemy. We're gonna level up her missile, and let's see. It seems we can avoid these projectiles, which is very nice. Of course, a lion stun is kind of a traveling, so it might be slightly different. It might be slightly different, but in the projectiles that are flying, you can definitely avoid them. So that is a Terrorblade. This additional thing you can kind of do to, if stun is flying on you, which I think is a pretty big aspect into the team fight. Stun is flying into you, you activate it and you're still going against the guy. That's a big surprising factor for you. Actually for him mostly, because he's gonna be very surprised that you still are going against him, not necessarily being stunned. So that is a Terrorblade. The gameplay is gonna be coming out soon. Carry, farming, items, what can I say? Kill them all.